I've tested shoes from 6 different brands this year, so today I'll be ranking their daily trainers based on value, performance and a sprinkling of durability. Couple of things to bear in mind with the shoes in this video. There are no plates in any of these shoes that I'm about to talk about. That rules out a couple of shoes that I could have put in, but I'm going for all non-plated options. And the second thing, shoe weights, there's a whopping 71 grams difference between the lightest and the heaviest. Now the durability section might need some help from you guys, so if you see any of the shoes in this video that you've tested, I'd love to hear down in the comments below how many miles you've put in them. I've managed to put some good miles in some of them, but not others. So the durability section might need a little bit of help from you guys. So let's start from the bottom. We'll start with the cheapest running shoes, working our way to the most expensive. I'll give you performance, their versatility, and as I said, if you can drop a comment with any mileage you have in them, that'd be great. Let's get started. So that means we kickstart with the Adidas SL2, and after a couple of teething issues that I found with the shoe, I've got into a really good routine with it and I absolutely love it. Now, I've done a video recently on this shoe about it being on the substitutes bench for my marathon training shoe rotation. I've got some great shoes in there right now, but it's there to come in when I need it. And I've got to be honest with you, I took that one out today and I really loved it. So what were the teething issues that I had? Well, I just find with Adidas sometimes fit isn't quite right. I can get a gem of a shoe or I can get one that is just either a little bit too narrow or a little bit too short. Sizing in their shoes can often be an issue for me. How did I solve it? I removed the insole and that's done a great job, and I've relaced the shoe so that I've got much more space down the bottom of the laces, much more room for the laces to stretch, and it's tighter at the top, looser at the bottom. That seems to have done the trick and I now get 0 issues in the shoe. In terms of performance, it's absolutely incredible. I do really enjoy it. I have done a workout in the shoe. I've not got the most miles in it yet, but it's going to get plenty more. It's definitely one that's come into the rotation that's going to get far more miles in it than some of the other shoes that we're about to talk about. Now, most of them so far have just been easy. I think one moderate run, and as I said, a workout, but I think moving forwards, they're just definitely going to be more reserved for those zone 1 and zone 2 easy and moderate runs. And coming in also at £110 is the Puma Velocity Nitro 3. And I've got to be honest with you, I know you'll be able to find this one on discount because often Puma have some great discounts. This is a brilliant shoe that I tested, but sadly, I just at the time of testing had other shoes in that did a similar job that I was enjoying slightly more than this one. I preferred this to the previous version. I tested version 2. The addition of the power tape in and around the arch area just gave me a little bit more of a stable feeling without doing what a lot of daily trainers do, which is widening the base loads and making it a really super big structure of a shoe. So that was a really positive addition. I know for a lot of you guys, you also enjoyed it as well, but some of you did mention that it was causing a little bit of arch rubbing. So it's not for everybody, but what I find in that shoe in general is it's just a good, light, easy daily trainer. It's not one like the SL2 that I consider doing a workout in. If I'm honest, it's heavier than the SL2, but again, it's definitely one that I would consider for easy and moderate runs. So from a versatility perspective, it very much is pigeonholed down in that zone 1, zone 2 area. So it's not quite got as much flexibility as the SL2, but overall for the value, it's still a stellar shoe. And coming in next is the Nike Pegasus 41. I paid £129 for this shoe. I've got to be honest with you, for me, it was a little bit of a disappointment. Now, the video I produced on that shoe resonated with a lot of you, but kind of struck a bit of a frustrating chord with some of you as well. I mean, at the end of the day, the Nike Pegasus has a DNA that's run through it for a very long time, and really not a lot has changed in the shoe. Now, for me, my frustration with this shoe came from the fact that the lack of innovation is just kind of hindering the progress of this shoe. There's so many better options out there. But then I guess that the counter argument could be, well, the shoe was designed for what it was and we don't really want to change it too much. We're seeing a lot of brands now mixing and matching foams, changing things around for revamping and exciting viewers and users with their lineups. I just don't think Nike are doing that with their shoes. So I did take it out for a run. I do feel like it had improved marginally from the 37, which was the last version I tried, but I would definitely never consider running fast in the shoe. It was very much an easy day shoe, very much a lack of responsiveness from my perspective. And just to clarify, when I'm landing, I'm looking for the shoe to give me something a little bit back, something exciting from the foam, and sadly it didn't just deliver at all. Now, I've always found with the Pegasus trail shoes and Nike's trail shoes in general that the React midsole is often better, more comfortable and a little bit more bouncy than what I found in the road options. That's something that loads of people have commented on in the past, and I definitely have a strong feel that there must be a different compound being used between the road and the trail options. Either way, the Pegasus 41 wasn't for me. Next up is the Saucony Ride 17. To be fair, this one released at the very, very back end of last year, but my word, I've got a ton of miles in it this year, and I actually stopped using it and moved it to my walking shoe because it was such a comfortable shoe, and I've now put so many, it's so battered up, but I just don't want to throw it away. It's so comfortable. What a difference that was from the previous version. Yes, it was heavier, but the addition of that Power Run Plus midsole in that shoe just made it so much better. Now, when I tested it out originally, I was super surprised with how heavy it was, yet how poppy and responsive I felt the shoe was. And for £135, that was a really good sort of value for money package. Now, disclaimer on this one, I got sent this shoe for the purpose of testing, so I didn't spend my money on it. But I got to be honest with you, out of some of the shoes that I've tested, I'd much rather spend £135 on this than I did the 129 on the Pegasus. I did a marathon pace workout in this shoe. I picked it up uphill, going around in a long run, up some marathon pace intervals. It was absolutely incredible. Again, versatility on this one is brilliant. Performance is brilliant. And again, although we're £25 more expensive than the basic shoes that we've tested, or in terms of the cheapest, I should say, I very much feel like it's there in terms of the Adidas SL2 and the Ride 17, giving you a bit more versatility. So if you're looking for something not just for easy and moderate runs, this is another one to consider. And then we bring in the Hoka Max 6. This is honestly my favorite shoe of the year so far. I've now put in over 200 miles in the shoe. Straight off the bat, the only concern I have is durability. We know what Hokas are like. I won't keep saying it. I've said it in so many videos, but of course, the standard EVA foam that they've used in previous shoes dies very quickly. I found with this supercritical EVA foam to be a big improvement, and after 200 miles, it is still really bouncy. I've done easy runs, long runs, I've done moderate runs, and I've even done a workout in the shoe. Now, although I like to just use it for easy and moderate running, I found it to be possibly the most exciting daily trainer that I've tested in a workout. Over the Endorphin Speed 4, over the Adidas SL2, it is right up there for me. Plus, it is the lightest shoe in this list. It does come in at £140, so we're now talking £30 more than those cheaper options. But again, you're getting versatility in abundance. You're getting performance, 10 out of 10 performance for me anyway, and I know for a lot of you guys. The question just comes down to how much longer is it going to last, because I do feel, my gut tells me, that something like the Pegasus or something like the Adidas SL2 are shoes that are going to last longer. Even the Ride 17, I mean, I've honestly walked so many miles in that shoe and it still feels super bouncy. So it comes down to durability, but otherwise this is a shining star. And last but not least, the On Cloud Monster 2, and I'm going to throw in the On Cloud Monster Hyper as well. So the Monster 2 retails at £170, the Hyper is £210. Both of these ones were sent to me for the purpose of review. You get what you pay for in this shoe, super premium quality, super comfort. However, if you're looking for something that's going to do slightly more than just easy running, these are not the shoes for you. If you want something for your recovery days, then these are the ones for you. They're very, very comfortable, but I have felt a restriction in terms of what I can do in the shoe. They're quite a big and bulky shoe. For recovery days, they're brilliant. When I was nursing a bit of a calf injury and a bit of an ankle issue and slight Achilles earlier in the year, they were the only shoe, the Monster 2, that I ran in. They were the only shoe that felt comfortable. I got my miles logged whilst feeling like I was still recovering, if that makes sense. Some shoes were aggravating it more than others. I did not want to move out of the Monsters, and I put a good fair few miles in the shoes. But since then, I've got back into my other usual rotation, and I've not picked these up since. If I'm honest with you, I'd actually choose the Hyper, having now tested that, over the Monster. But then again, you are paying another £40 for that. I just felt the midsole, the difference in the midsole foams there were just slightly better in the Hyper. I felt it to be a little bit more bouncy, and I felt like it was a little bit lighter and you could just move a little bit better. But again, if you're looking at comparison from a £110 shoe to a £210 shoe, is the difference worth £100? Honestly, probably not. So very much a premium package there from On. Very, very comfortable shoes, but I think versatility, you might be better off with some of the other options. So I think in terms of value for money, you're definitely looking at Puma, Adidas and Nike there. Whether you like the shoes or not, in terms of the Pegasus, I said that I wasn't a massive fan, but in terms of value, you really are getting a bang for your buck. And even again, Saucony and Hoka coming in there a little bit more expensive, but still really good shoes. There's just that big difference there moving up to the On shoes. But I think for me, I've reiterated it a multitude of times. I always look for more versatility in a daily trainer rather than just something I can plod around in. I could have thrown in the Saucony Triumph 22 into this, but again, I just really pigeonhole that into very much easy running. For a daily trainer, my definition is something that I can do zone 1 and zone 2 in easily, and if I want to throw in a bit of a workout, I can. It's just a shoe that I can pick up on a day-to-day basis and can use for a variety of options, and I feel like at least 5 out of the 6 of these shoes I could do that with. Maybe the Ons were a bit more kind of restrictive, but overall I've got to say the only concern I have with the Hoka is durability. Otherwise that tops my list, and I think your next best option for me anyway is definitely the Adidas SL2 if you can get the sizing right. So there we go, on screen is my list from 1 to 6 of the shoes ranked based on price and versatility. That's kind of my list, that's my favourite. I'd love to hear what yours is out of those 6. Do you have any of them? And of course, like I mentioned in the intro, please do comment any mileage you have in some of these shoes, just from the versatility perspective. I did recently post a video on the Hoka Max 6 after 200 miles, and some of you posted you got some really big miles in that shoe, which is kind of making me feel a little bit more better about the fact that we're going to get some good mileage out of that shoe. But of course, everyone's different. Some of you guys might be 50, 60 kilos. I'm more like nearly 90. So I think it's going to differ based on each runner. But either way, it'd be great to hear from you down there. That's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do consider giving it a like, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. I'll see you on the next one.